Hi everyone, myself Abhinav Gupta, and today I will be answering uh, for the next query which I have been receiving from a lot of my followers. And the query is all about that when they are doing freelancing, so what are the major challenges? और ये वाली क्वेरी मुझे बहुत बहुत ज़्यादा लोगों ने पूछी है और काफ़ी लोग ऐसे हैं जो जॉब कर रहे हैं या सर्विस में हैं और उनको फ्रीलांसिंग जब करना चाहते हैं तो दे आर नॉट एबल टू डिसाइड and the reason for them to not able to decide on freelancing is that they are scared of or they are not aware of what are the major challenges to start with, and for the same reason they are not able to go ahead with the freelancing things. So to start with, first of all, I would like to welcome all of you, and for all those people who have still not subscribed my channel, please subscribe if you think that the knowledge is coming across and being useful to you. अगर आपको कहीं भी लगता है कि कोई ऐसा इंसान जो जिसको ये नॉलेज काम आ सकती है या जिसके साथ जो भी मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ अगर वो किसी इंटीरियर डिज़ाइनर के या किसी स्टूडेंट के काम आ सकता है, तो आप प्लीज़ सब्सक्राइब कीजिए। तो हम लोग आगे बढ़ते हैं। सो द मेजर चैलेंज व्हिच आई हैव सीन पीपल एक्चुअली गेटिंग इम्पैक्टेड विद व्हाइल दे आर डूइंग फ्रीलांसिंग प्रैक्टिस इन इंटीरियर डिज़ाइन is the first of all we need to understand what are the three phases of interior design. So the three phases are sales, design, and execution. Majorly, these three are the pillars of interior designing, and we will be precisely talking about residential interior designing in retail segment, which is B2C. So when we talk about this, so the major problem which I have seen, first of all, freelancers are not able to generate the leads. They are not able to get the right amount of work, and they are not aware of how to get those numbers. Basically, let's say you open up a office or you just want to become a freelancer. You have degree, you have knowledge, you have skill set, you know software, 3D modeling software, you know how to make renders also, you know AutoCAD also, but still you are not getting the right people, how to reach out to the customer if they are interested to get their interior job done. So this is something which they find as a first challenge to be very challenging and not achievable. Before this, I have also seen that freelancers also think like that they have to have a studio, they have to have an office. I certainly will not be agreeing over this fact completely. So there are multiple types of brackets to do interior designing as a freelance practitioner. Now, when you talk about very high level, very extremely premium kind of interior designing, certainly you need to have a beautiful studio. Now, when you talk about middle segment or upper middle segment of interior designing, you must not be having a studio. It is like if your clients are very high end, if your clients are asking or requiring a proper meeting space or to maintain the decorum of professionalism, if you are looking for that, yes, you should be getting a proper meeting space. What I would recommend you, always make a schedule of the project, and at the specific schedule of the meeting you can book co-working space. So there are a lot of co-working spaces nowadays, and before COVID also it was there in the trend, and after COVID wave also they are again getting opened, and you have lot of spaces throughout the globe. Wherever your client is there, you can basically get a room hired for the duration as well as for the days. And I have already been helping a lot of designers in guiding them with respect to how they should schedule their meetings further, how they should be planning their meetings in such a way that even they can, while being frugal, they can save money or they can actually not overspending over these booking of the co-working spaces. And now, when you talk about booking of the spaces, so there are multiple channel partners, there are multiple service providers who can provide you the very nice meeting rooms. Everything would be completely pre-established. You will be having from internet till coffee, you have everything there in the pre-included package. And these packages are like almost per hour package also, and they are per day package also. And even if you think that you have high number of meetings in a month or a week, you can even take a consolidated package for a week or for a month as well. So, but I personally found this co-working space idea is extremely workable. And even I would recommend, if you are having a nearby place where you are finding that more leads are coming, more customers are coming, or a place where you are feeling comfortable with, that traveling to that place is also very good. So you should be taking care of few small things from customers perspective, that there should be ample space for parking, there should not be too much of signals, traffic signals, and there should be a very much public conveyance transport available at that place where you are searching for a meetings place, or where you are meeting with your clients. Second, third thing, which is very, very important, that there should not be a outer noise coming into that space. However, certainly all the co-working space take care of this, but still I have seen a lot of co-working spaces which are, because they are compromising with some of the service quality, for the same reason they are giving some spaces on a very low cost, because of which you might be, actually it tends to get you into trap. And while you are going into the meeting, let's say you are, if you are having a virtual meeting with a client, you would be definitely going to suffer, and you, it will going to impact your quality of the meeting as well. So in such cases, always remember, always take care of that you are not compromising over the quality of such meeting rooms or such meetings. It is highly recommended that whenever you are booking for a co-working space meeting room, always make sure that you are checking with the coordinator beforehand, entering into the meeting rooms for the first time using of meeting room. And if you have already a frequent visitor to that space, then it is somewhere they will be also taking care of that, okay, what kind of space you would be requiring. So in those kind of situations, you need not to worry. So what I would recommend as a first point, that you need not to have a mandatorily studio or office. That is certainly not at all sensible in this era. And most of the work, when it is being already done through work from home, so you can basically tie up with lot of people, either from, I would recommend, I always recommend this to a lot of students as well. So when you studied interior designing, you would be minimum of the capacity of 20 students in your class, correct? So what you can do, you can re-establish your link with the schoolmates, with the classmates, where you studied your education of interior design. Reach out to them, discuss with them what they are doing, how much they are making money in an approximate range, and think around and work around if you guys can connect together, collaborate together, so that you can divide the different branches of interior designing. So let's take an example, that you are two friends or three friends. Let's say you are A, B, C are three friends. Now let's suppose you are A. So if the customer is of B designer, so B designer will be the customer facing, okay, and A and C will be doing the backend jobs. Now you can divide again into three segments, A, B, C. As I told you, the three segment would be sales, design, and execution. Now, because you all are aware of everything as a whole, so 360-degree person, so what you can do, you can divide these kind of things. So you can even collaborate in this manner, and believe me, it works out really very well. This way, first of all, the very best part is when you are already appearing as a team of three to the customer. So it is going to be appear like that. Okay, this is a kind of company setup. Okay, and also the level of communication, the quality of communication will be very good, because you all three would be from the same professional institutions, and you all having same expertise, same experience as well, and because you have studied together, and because of same age group, so there are a lot of upper edge benefits you will be getting in these case of scenarios. And you can definitely put it forward to the client that you all three are a part of single company. This way customer also gets more confidence. Now definitely, because the lead remains to the person who is the channel to get the customer in, so you can divide your profits also accordingly. You can make an agreement. I would always strongly recommend that in such kind of cases where you are collaborating with any either classmate, neighbor, or any business partner, always make an agreement which should be explicit, predicting about each and every person's responsibility, roles, and situational based agreements. So what if customer is through channel of B, what if customer through channel of A, what if C has a expertise in providing civil services, let's say, what if A has a expertise in providing design services in terms of 3D modeling or 2D. So these kind of things are definitely going to help you in optimizing your cost to company, and it is no doubt going to help you a lot with that how you would be offering to the customer, and where you can emphasize over that what is special about you, how customer can take advantage, or how why the customer should be hiring you as a service provider. So in these kind of cases you will be getting a per edge benefit. Apart from this, there is one more benefit. You already cut short the competition of yours. So when you are already collaborated with two more classmates or two more mates of yours, so you are basically cutting down the competition by two guys, two designers. So this way you are having already a stronger edge. And uh, last but not the least, in this case, you are also creating a strong communication and strong links. So because when you are working together, so it happens a lot that because now what is happening, ABC, when all three are working together, so you are basically, instead of having one channel of capturing or fetching the leads, now you are having three channels. So, what I would be recommending you, in spite of whatever level of trust you guys have, always ensure that you are making the agreement. Believe me, trust me, in such cases, when you are having the agreement among yourself, it is really helpful for you always to ensure that there is no fourth person who is doing brainwashing of anyone. Okay. And because of this thing, you are always concrete, you are always clear, things are always like transparent among you. So this way you are going to have a long run, and this is going to help you a lot. And apart from this, what I was telling you, that when you make the agreement, when you clear out these things, and you should always do SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis is something which I have found extremely useful. It is basically about uh, SWOT means SWOT. So strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. So this is the SWOT analysis. What you can do when, let's say, you three, four, or five people are collaborating with each other, so you should be always writing down a kind of chart paper in which you all three can write down your own strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat. Okay, to your company or to your collaboration. In this manner, you will be able to, when you are into the pre-sales phase, when you are nurturing the lead, in that phase, you will be definitely going to use your strengths over the customer. So as I told you already in the example, that out of ABC friends, if A is having a very upper hand or very stronger edge with design services like 3D modeling, 2D drafting, so you can take advantage of person A. You can definitely give them some extra percentile out of the profit to ensure that you are getting good quality of designs work, plus you are getting good quality of drafting. And let's say C is very good with civil services. He is having a very good labor patch for the on ground civil services. Let's say there is some construction required, there is some dismantling required, there is some MEP work required. MEP means mechanical, electrical, plumbing. So these kind of services, and there is some finishing work required in construction of the building. So these kind of, you can basically put it into SWOT analysis. This way you will be having a clear transparency. And when customer is asking for that, okay, I need this additional service as well apart from interior design. So because of the kind of the level of confidence you which will be carrying in yourself would be going to definitely give you the advantage. So these kind of things are definitely helpful. And always remember that when we are collaborating, don't do it without agreement. Do paperwork, proper paperwork. Now let's come back to the first challenge which we are discussing about, that sales, how to create the sales, how to generate sales, how to get the lead out of the market. So the very first thing now, in this digital era, first of all, do not underestimate the power of internet. So I would definitely going to recommend you. There are a lot of social medias, websites like Instagram, Facebook. So all do use this. And apart from that, Google has already given a lot of paid services with which you can definitely promote your business. So nowadays, even we do this, and even for the very most basic service also, we have started searching on Google. So let's say if just 2 years back I moved to a new city, and I was not aware of the basic service like salon near my place. So I actually searched on Google that men's salon near me. So this is what the power of digital era and digital internet has become. So we can even search for the most basic service. Do you think internet will not provide the result for interior designer? So an interior designing is something which is a high ticket size product. It is not a kind of that 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. It goes in lakhs. So customers definitely need a reliable source to do this kind of service. Now, the very first thing which as I mentioned, use power of internet, get a very nice proper poster which can be posted on an Instagram page and Facebook page, and then apart from that, use Google, and you can put across a lot of promotions. And I would not you only actually recommend you to put high discounts until and unless you are not having a kind of your own production unit, or when you are taking, let's say, turnkey basis project. But what I would recommend you, that when you are trying to establish your brand as a new brand, always ensure that you are very clear with your terms and conditions. And before sales, before making the sales itself, you are making them extremely transparent and clear to your customers. Those who are, you can say, inquiring about getting the service from you. Never hide any condition from them. And if you think there is a condition which is more in your favor as a company, and it is a lesser favor to the customer, do discuss that also partially, at least partially. And never tell a customer a lie. If you are already establishing a new brand, it is never going to work out. Even for older brand, a lie never works out. So always be sure that whatever you are committing, whatever is doable, only commit that much. And it has been seen a lot of times while I am doing practice almost from 2 decades, that a lot of times this happens, and in big brands also, in big companies, there are two different teams of sales and design. So designer is making the quotation, or designer is understanding the requirement from the customer, but sales team is closing the customer. Sales team is basically nurturing and converting the customer into as a company's client. So during this conversion and nurturing of the lead, generally this has been seen, then sales over promise things, over commit things. And eventually what happens, eventually customer is in the bucket of designer. And because the service is not doable, it is not feasible for the company to render that service, eventually client experience goes bad, goes down. And client is nowhere bothered about that either designer has committed that, or a uh, salesperson has committed that. For the customer, it is the company who has committed that. So always make sure that such kind of things are taken very seriously when you are working as a brand, when you are working or trying to establish yourself as a freelance designer or a brand. Always make sure that never overcommit things to your customers. And apart from this, if let's say you are judging, or you are analyzing that just because of a service which you cannot serve, and only because of that service customer is going out of your hands. So what I would always recommend you, instead of committing that you will be able to do it, you can still park that service in your zone, saying across that you need to check for the feasibility and possibility of this. However, to build up more confidence, you can tell them that if this service is not providable, they can still decide afterwards if they want to go ahead with you or not. But you are going to commit only if you are concretely strong over the things that yes, you can do that job. So this way customer will get definitely going to get impressed with you, and he would definitely going to appreciate your loyalty as well. I have seen this. Generally, designers think that no, no, I need not to be that much honest. And if I tell customer upfront that I cannot do this, or I need to see about this, then customer will get out from my bucket. Let me tell you again, being honest is never going to give you a loss. First, second, even if you are putting it across in a smarter way, that you can definitely do it, but you need to check for if the right workman is available, if the right workforce is available with you, because the specialized persons who are doing this job with you are already engaged with some other work, and that is going to be take a very long time. Let's say this is a kind of diplomatic and kind of a smarter way to handle these kind of situations. So what I would recommend you, never overcommit, never overpromise if you are not having any idea or any clarity about it. Until unless you are very strong, until unless you are not very much, you can say, clear about the things, don't provide those services which you also need to be outsourced and you are getting it done from the very first time. And because of this, in the business of interior, it is like high investment business in terms of money as well as emotions. So as I always says, don't take that risk. Now, first part was when we are discussing about sales. So I already told you that always make sure that you are using the power of internet. Use Instagram, social media, and even YouTube nowadays is working very nicely. So whenever you are emerging as a designer, when you emerging as a consultant, you can definitely roll out some of your introduction videos, and you can talk about that how you can help people in terms of making their home more beautiful, more functional, and aesthetically more appealing. So these kind of things definitely going to build up some confidence in the customers. And now when we come to the next part, that is designing. So in designing, always make sure that there are a lot of services available in the market. Always make sure that you are studying the patterns also, what your competitors are offering to the customers, and what kind of, while providing these design services or design journey, what is the exact criteria. And also I have seen that companies are struggling with, in the majority of cases where I have seen, because of the process, because of the improper process, or you can say incomplete process. So it has been seen lot of cases that all the, mostly in all the interior designing companies, so there are three to four stages of payments. So very first stage is taking the token amount and booking the order. Once this amount is taken for the token, order is booked, designing gets started or initiated. Now, in between, when majority of design proposals are gone or shared with the client, clients tends to drop out because they have already received the designs. And now this is complete loss to the company. Okay, so this is happening a lot with even big brands. I have seen, I will not like to take the name of those companies, but I have seen in a lot of companies where companies are actually struggling with this, that clients are taking their 3D models, their 2D models, and in some of the cases, even I have seen that the companies are getting the site validation, which is called site masking or cross measurement. Even they are marking the drawings to validate on site that what kind of furniture will be putting across in which room or on which wall. And when they have made the marks, after that client is dropping out. Now this is completely unethical, but unfortunately we do not have any law against this in our country, and certainly this happens a lot. Now this is case one. Case two, there is one more very common case. Let's say client has booked the order for 5 lakhs, and eventually during the design discussion client's order has become 12 lakhs, so it is an increase of 7 lakhs of order value. Client is aware of the order increase, client already have a budget of almost, let's say, 14-15 lakhs. You made all the things. Now during the site masking, as I said, you and your carpenter or a project manager made the masking, made the marking on the home, and right after this visit done, client has again decided to drop out. Now just think from the company perspective. You booked the order for 5 lakhs. You were happy that order has become 12 lakhs. And now you have provided them the designing of 12 lakhs also. You understand? And let's suppose you have taken 10% of token amount to get the order booked. So you mean that means you took 50,000 to book the order. And how much they have taken from you? Designing worth rupees 12 lakhs. So even if you calculate it from 10% of value, it should be 1 lakh 20,000. So it is a complete, clear, clean loss of 70,000 to your company. And in these cases, you have no control over the client. If client has decided to not to come with to come to you again, you cannot push him. Okay, client is all anyways made his mind that he is already getting the designing worth rupees 120, 1.2 in 50,000. So now you cannot control. Apart from this, there is another bad picture after this also. The quotation which you provided for 12 lakhs as a company, as a brand, they might be getting the same job done from the carpenter in 10 lakhs. So now customer sees it from this perspective, that even if they lost 50,000 on you for the designing, they are still saving 1.5 lakhs. Okay. So this is the real truth. This is I have seen in lot of cases. So now, from client's perspective, client is very happy. Definitely, client can never match the quality of the brand, quality of the company, what company is giving to them in 12 lakhs. One second, company also needs to pay the GST or the tax. That is something which is very important factor, because the customer who is getting the job done from carpenter, he needs not to pay any GST to anyone. Even they can get every material also, woodwork also, without the paying the tax also, or partial tax, let's say. Now these are 2 points. Third point, which is very important, is the company also need to pay the salaries to their management, to their people, like designer, project manager, coordinator, and then installer, and then installation quality check person, and runner, transportation. There are so many things in the back end. So these kind of expenses are not there with the local vendor or the carpenter. So this is something which I would tell you. And to ensure that this kind of things do not happen to you, you need to strategize your design process in such a manner that it should be a win-win situation for both you as well as the client. And there are many processes. I have, as a design head, already implemented a process in my current company as well, where we are completely, you can say, protected with these kind of issues, and we are never going into the loss because of these kind of situations. And when you will be doing the freelancing, definitely you might be facing these issues, these situations, but you will eventually learn from your experience. Now that is about the design phase. And in design phase, one more thing I would like to add: always make sure that there would be a proper design team. Let's say you are a team of two people. Just imagine minimum count. So always make sure that the person who is making the drawings, those are getting checked by second person. Just let it be. If the second person do not belong to the expertise of checking the designs, still fine, but let him check your drawings just for a quick run through. I would always recommend, you will also get more confidence, and there are maximum chances that because you have made the drawings, you might not be able to find the error. But sometimes the new person who is looking at the things for the very first time tends to get capture the error at a glance. So always make sure that you are following this practice. It is really helpful. And third thing which I would like to add is, whenever you are making your designs and drawings, at the finalization of the drawings, you should definitely check the hard copy, the printout of the drawings. Sometimes it happens because you have been working only on screen from the beginning till the end. So you are not able to figure out the error in the screen. So this I have felt even with myself as well when I was working as a freelancer, that printed drawings are, you can say, more accurate when we check, and you tend to find more error into the printout drawings. So use this practice, and this is a kind of, I can say, my personal experience which I found very useful. Now when you are growing as a team from two to, let's say, three, four, five, always make sure that as soon as possible for you, always search for the person who is extremely technical, smart, and clear with the drawing quality. So, and ensure that that person or under this person, there is a drawing quality check being taken place. So always ensure that drawing QC or drawing quality check is there in your company. It is, this is something which is under lack of awareness, but this position is going to save you lakhs. And these lakhs you can save maximum within 6 months if you are doing residential, interior designing even. I'm promising you, drawing QC is going to save you lakhs within 6 months only. So always make sure that you are having a proper drawing quality check before sending the drawings to the execution, or to the carpenter even, or to the factory, or to the site for a site validation. Very well, if the same drawing quality check person is visiting at the time of cross measurement to site masking as well, it is going to add, you can say, a cherry on the cake if that person is visiting the site. But if it is not allowing for the bandwidth resources level, then send the designer at the time of cross measurement. That is also one and the same thing, because in this way designer will ensure that the quality of drawings is being matched with respect to the project manager's requirement or the site installation requirement. Now there is this is design, and after designing, one there is one more last thing I would like to add, because this is something which I have seen in my experience. I have seen a lot of designers, they are providing very good, very realistic, and very attractive renders during the design phase. Now I would always actually, you can say, warn my designers, my followers, and to ensure that whenever you are providing renders, make sure that that is good, that is fine, you are providing good quality renders, but don't over exaggerate the beautification into that. Don't put so many filters which are not possible to execute. It is certainly going to discourage and disappoint your client. Providing good quality render is one thing, but educating the client simultaneously that this is something which is digitally developed and it might not be immediately or exactly replicated. This is something which causes so many escalations, so many issues with the customers. So just for an example, let's say you have made a wardrobe, three shutter wardrobe, sliding wardrobe in a bedroom, and right above that there are some downlighters. So I hope you have seen that downlighters, down the, at the bottom of the downlighter there is a cone, light cone, okay, in inverted V or A. So that cone is there in the rendering when you create the renders. Now, just tell me one thing. Can you definitely match that size of cone on the shutter size, the proportion of the cone? Can you match that exactly as it is what is showing in the render? It is not possible. Even if the light is 4 inches away in actual, and then 6 inches away, and for any reason, let's say it is 12 inches away because of the site condition, let's say sprinkler pipe was there, or let's say there is a pelmet, you need to increase the distance of light because of the shutter opening orientation. There can be a lot of reasons. So for such small reasons, you never know, this cone size is going to change, or there is one another possibility that this cone is even not made because of the high distance. Now I have, and this has happened in reality in front of me, that client is fighting over that you shown me these three cones, and now these are not coming on my site. You get the either wardrobe replaced or light replaced. Now this is again like an unnecessary cost to the company. It is going to be from their profit. So always, because it is a documentation, you have shared the render. It is a kind of documentation you have made already with the client. So you cannot challenge it. So always make sure that either you put a disclaimer in the render, or you are making your client very clear about the same thing, that this is something which is digitally developed and cannot match the exact output. So this way your client will also be aligned. This is one. Second thing is about the texture and finishes. So if let's say you are using some sort of specific fabric on a paneling, or let's say on a sofa, so rendering cannot provide you exact same match of the look and feel. Now these are there are this happens a lot when, let's say, the shine of the material is not being shown as good as it is being there in the render in actual, or vice versa. So if you are delivering better product than render, it is definitely going to be a good experience. But if it is even 1% lesser than the render, it is, there are chances that your client get escalated and you will not able to handle that. So always make sure that when you are making renders, do make good quality renders, but ensure that your work is better than those render quality, actual work. And you know that what kind of work you can do, or your team can do. So ensure that you are making the renders accordingly. And this is about designing. Now third thing, which is execution. So while you are making the project execution, there will be two branches. One is when you need to first of all procure the material for execution. So when you are starting procuring the material, there would be two branches of the procurement. One is when you procure the raw material, or the basic first procurement batch, which is supposed to go directly to the factory if you are working with modular. So you will be sending the raw material to the modular factory. That is one. Or let's say your modular factory is saying that we will be using our own material, you can choose from any of these. So still you will be making a first tranche of the payment to the modular factory for the raw material and making the woodwork. And second would be all the raw material like POP, false ceiling, gypsum ceiling, electrical work, plumbing work, and flooring, tiling, construction, dismantling. These kind of works is certainly directly from market to site. And last but not the least, appliances. So chimney, hob, AC, lightings, fancy lightings, all these things are directly from market to site. So these are two categories mainly. So always make sure that you are extremely clear with your client on your payment terms, on your payment milestones, on the percentage of work done versus payment to be made, and what amount of payment you would be expecting at which what point of time. This should be the part of your agreement with the customer before starting or at the time of booking the project. If you are clear with these things in the very beginning stage, very initial stage, you are not going to face any issue during your project execution. And if let's say you get 5 to 6 more project during the first site execution, instead of chasing your client for money, instead of pleading for money, instead of managing the project space because of you are already hired a workforce and that workforce is not able to get the right job done at the right time because you are not getting the payment, you would be enjoying, you would be relishing the work. So this can happen only when you are clear with your terms and conditions, your clients are also aligned with your expectations. If there is anything which client is not matching with or client is not happy with your terms about, that can be still discussed and concluded. It should not be parked along that okay, I will see to it. This kind of attitude is not going to work out. And always make sure that during the execution you are somehow trying to manage and meet the client on site. So this is something I would rather say a golden rule. So when the project execution is going on, clients are extremely happy. In fact, the happiest time for the clients are execution, uh, apart from handover or after the handover. So clients really love that tenure when the project execution is going on. They really love to see the kind of carving of the overall work when you are basically crafting their home or their dream spaces. So always make sure that you are meeting your client, you're calling your client specifically with a kind of reason saying that you were just passing by or you have a meeting tomorrow near the site. I was just checking with you if you have some time to meet me along to see how the execution is going on. These kind of things will add a lot. And this is the best time if your client is happy, if everything is going well on track as per your design proposal. You can definitely put across the interest of asking for the referral, asking for the neighborhood. If client can basically reach out to his neighbor, or if anyone from his neighborhood reached out to him asking that from where is he getting the job done. So that is the space, you can say, in the time where you have maximum probability of getting the job from the client as a referral. And for these kind of things, I would say if you are not a very huge, very big brand, always make sure that you are not announcing it. But if your client is providing any referral to you, always make sure that you are gifting them something in return for that if the lead is getting closed. This is something which is basic ethics. And this is apart from that, one more thing I would like to add. So anyone loves unexpected gift, including you. Just imagine if you're not expecting any gift from anyone and someone gave a gift to you via courier and there is no name. Let's say you received a gift, and after a day you received a call and the person is saying, I gifted that to you because you did this to me. This is something which is unforgettable. Okay, he will never forget it. And now he will try to give you another lead, he will try to give you another referral because of this kind of unexpected gesture. Now this time when you are already getting another lead from him, You can definitely repeat this practice, but this time, depending upon the project value, you can play around. If the project value is even lesser, try to ensure that the utility of the gift is very good, even if you cannot invest much in the amount of the gift. This way you are making good relation as well. And don't announce it in the market that you are gifting people for having the referral or for giving the referral. Your client will only do this for you. The person who is getting the gifts for your referral, he will only do this. And these kind of things are certainly works out really very well. And I have been giving these sort of ideas to my all the employers and the companies, and trust me, this is working out really very well. Now, as soon as you starts growing in the design phase or execution phase itself, you will see the gradual growth, gradual steep upwards. And when you are growing, always make sure that the team, that the people who have started working with you in the very initial stage, when you were alone, when they hold it their hand, always make sure that when you are making more profits, they are also getting some part of it. If not equal, if not high percentile, then at least some proportion of it. They should also be enjoying the growth of the company, of the brand. This way they are not only getting themselves engaged with you for long term, but also will be feeling themselves as your member of your organization. They will get a lot of confidence. And this is all about the providing them respect, the self respect. So that way you can basically provide them recognitions as well. And when you, as soon as you, as gradually you are growing, so always make sure that you are providing recognitions to such people who have been with you from the long time. And it is nowhere, it is going to cost nothing to you. But believe me, when you are providing recognition to your people who have been in your hard times with you, they, this do create a strong bonding with you. So that's all about today's session. I hope it was useful and this was helpful for you. If you have any query, you can put down in the comment section now as well as after the video is uploaded on my channel. And I would love to hear back from you. And if you have any question or query from today's session or from any other uh, bucket of interior design, you can certainly put it forward. I would love to have your comments. I would love to have your queries. And as far as my knowledge is concerned, I would definitely try to help you back. And apart from this, you can also check out the description of my channel where you will get the Google form link. You can fill up that Google form if you do not want your query to be completely public. So you can put your query in the Google form. That result will only come to me, and I will make a video over that without announcing your name. It will be completely anonymous. Any query related to interior designing, related to starting of the business, how to search a job in interior designing, how to come into the field of interior designing. These are the very generic questions. If you are already a practitioner into interior design, do let me know. I will be happily resolving your queries up to the best of my knowledge. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Please do share this video with your colleagues, with your nearby.